don't think my video is on. There we go.
Hi.
Hi, Charlie. I was holding my breath there because I never know if this is going to work. You know, when you're adding somebody in and you're like, "Ooh, will it
Well,
work?"
no, you're popping my Instagram live cherry. So, well, the dual live. So, yay, brilliant. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So, yeah, do you want to just tell us a bit about who you are, first of all, Charlie?
I will. Thank you. Yeah. So, I'm Charlie Beswick. I have two boys, twins, almost 21. Harry, you might hear in the other room. He might barge in any moment. Harry was born with a craniofacial condition. So he was born with no eye socket, no ear, no nostril, and a short underdeveloped jaw. We were told at birth that he would probably never walk and he'd be brain damaged. This was after a perfectly healthy pregnancy.
Mm.
Oliver was completely unaffected by the syndrome. Harry is very mobile, like can run like Usain Bolt, but he has autism. So he's got significant autism, communication challenges, significant learning delay. He's also epileptic as well. Oliver is undiagnosed neurodivergent. His presentation is very different. So although he's super verbal, he's had crushing anxiety for most of his life, and really low self-worth. He's also got dyslexia. And I know when he was assessed, the lady that did the assessment said she'd never met anybody that had got such low self-worth. I think he was about 9 at the
Wow.
time. So
Yeah.
it was really, really hard. So yeah, I was a teacher when the boys were younger. So I've been a teacher for 20 years and I left in July 2024. And I have had charities, I've had not-for-profits, all really kind of using my teaching skills, but
Mm.
very focused on giving back and educating and supporting. And now I've got to the point where I've created the village, and I'm waiting for that to. We're just building that in the background, and that will go live beginning of September. So that's super exciting.
Yeah, it is, and you're a super busy mum.
I
Super
am.
busy mum, aren't you?
As are you. You're always busy,
That's
and
true.
we chat offline, don't we? We're always sort of
Yeah.
comparing notes about how grateful we feel and also how knackered we are.
Yes, indeed, indeed. And you can be both at the same time.
Definitely.
So, yeah, so tell us a bit about the village.
So the elevator pitch, if you like, I'll just sum up as if I'm in front of Dragon's Den. So it's an online platform that offers professionals, which bring guidance and support, practical resources, guides, templates, community, peer support, and well-being as well, including financial well-being. So there's a big community space. We've got a marketplace. We've got, excuse me, experts such as yourself. So you're going to be our
I'll
resident
be
clinical
popping in. I'll be
psychologist.
popping in, yes.
Brilliant. But we've got wills and trust funds, we've got OT, speech and language, toileting, behavioural experts, physio, we've got financial wellbeing, we've got a couple therapists. I'm just trying to think of everybody off the top of my head. We've got tons of people coming in.
Wow.
It's not the finished article by a long shot, it's taken almost a year to get up and running and funded. So it's not something, this isn't a Facebook community. So far, there's me and my business partner, and so far we've spent £35,000. So
Wow.
yeah.
But it's
um,
important to you, isn't it, to really get this right? And it sounds so,
that's
so needed. I speak to
exactly.
parents all the time who are going from pillar to post, trying to get information, trying to coordinate all the different bits and bobs that they and their child
Yeah,
needs. And
yeah,
it sounds like this is the solution. It's a
yeah.
one-stop shop, really, isn't it?
And I think that is why it's taken such a lot of time and such a
Yeah.
lot of investment, because we want to do it right. I don't think there's anything worse than being sold something or promised something and then feeling let down at the end of it. We're used to that as Sen parents. We've been there. We've gone through that a lot, too much. So this really is hopefully going to be the one-stop shop, the everything's then in one place. We've got a high street with travel agents, hotels, we've got a marketplace, we've got a campus with tutors. So it really is going to be what I needed, and that's always been my why. Right at the beginning of this, the boys were born, and I just felt so guilty. I felt so guilty that I must have caused his disability. And then I went on and grieved the life that I would never know and I would never have. and I felt angry at everybody. I felt jealous at people that had the nerve to enjoy a life that I felt had been meant for me and robbed of me. I felt all these really heavy, dark emotions, and I couldn't tell anybody because I'd got no friends around me that experienced this. I'd got no experience of disability myself.
Mm.
So I just felt like a bad mum. And it was only on hindsight. I had a breakdown when the boys were 6. And then I sought medical help and counselling and
Yeah.
stuff. And then I was like, oh, this is normal. And I'm not a bad mum. I'm not a monster. I'm just struggling. I'm just human finding this hard. And I think I really want to be that person for others.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're thrust into a really unfamiliar landscape, aren't you? You know, whether those differences or additional needs are sort of present and obvious at birth or pre-birth, or whether, you know, for a lot of the parents I work with, where their child might have receive a diagnosis further on down the line, often into those teenage years. And suddenly, then you might be looking back as well as forward, you know, kind of looking at things through a new lens,
Yeah.
and suddenly you're on a different path than the one you thought you were on. And what do you do with that? Where do you go? Where do you
Yeah.
seek help and
Yeah.
support?
And then you're
Um,
beating yourself up again, aren't you? That you didn't spot things
yeah,
sooner, or you didn't fight harder, or so wherever you are in the journey, there's that parental guilt,
yes,
and there's that pressure, and there's that negative talk. I said things to myself I would have never said to a friend.
yeah.
I
We do
treated
that, don't we? We're our own worst
we're
enemies.
terrible. But
Yeah.
I kind of hope that I can be that sounding board for people so that they can come forward and say, do you know what, I think one of the most, can I swear on this live?
Yeah.
Can I swear? One of the most
You've
important
warned people.
one of the most important moments for me was the boys had been born, and on a Thursday, and the midwife that supported us was off that weekend, and then she came in on the Monday, and in the meantime everyone had been saying to me, you'll be fine, you've got this, you're strong, if anybody can cope with this, it's you. And that was gorgeous, but it kind of set the bar for me up here. So I
Yeah.
then couldn't say, well, thank you, but I don't feel like I can't do this job, I don't think I'm the right mum for this. I couldn't say any of those things. And the boys were only 48 hours. Harry had gone to another hospital by this time. And the midwife, Rachel, came back in and she sat on the end of my bed and she said, I've had a terrible weekend. And I said, why? She went, well, this is just a bit shit, isn't it?
Oh,
And I was like,
bless.
yeah, it is. And
Yeah.
even now I could get, you're not emotional, but, I just needed that in that moment.
A validation.
I did. I really needed that. I needed someone to say, this is hard and this is rotten. And she gave me that, and I am forever grateful. And she wouldn't have realised how
Yeah.
important that was. But that taught me that people need to be seen where they are.
Absolutely, wherever they are on that journey, you
Yeah,
know, and there's different thoughts, feelings, challenges at different parts, aren't there?
of
So,
course.
so there's going to be access to professionals,
Yeah,
so psychology, OT, speech and language,
yeah.
and
Physio,
yeah.
toileting, sleep experts. So we've got a whole range of people coming in.
Yeah, and then what else? Because in my head, I'm like in a village physically, and I'm
Yes.
kind of looking around and I'm walking around. So what am I going to see when I'm walking around?
Okay, so I will say when I first had this idea, it was like Sims in my head. Like you've
Yes.
got a little avatar and you're in the map. So that might come in the future. But so yeah, we've got a library. So the library's got all resources, templates, and guides. But it's not a stuffy library. It's very much informed by the conversations that we're having in the rest of the village. We've got a village hall, so that's got our stories. So that's lived stories from people sharing their journeys, and I've recorded 3 of those today, and they're brilliant.
Amazing.
And I've been in this world for 20 years and I'm still learning things, so they're really, really powerful. We've got collective wins because I think the power of community is being there through the struggles, but it's also being there through the wins. Like
Mm.
the other day, Harry put his socks on without having a meltdown. He's nearly 21. If I said that to my friend, Harry's put his socks on, and she's got a neurotypical 21-year-old, she'd be like, and what? Yeah, okay, are you drinking? But other parents are like, yes, I get that.
Yeah.
So for me, celebrating the wins is just as important as supporting people through the struggles.
Mm.
We've got come and meet, so people can meet the experts, meet other parents, meet charities, meet other organisations that are offering support. and that's just 2 buildings. We've got the cafe, which has got chat forums in there, and I'm really passionate about having a space for grandparents as well.
Oh,
Be-
brilliant.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember my mum saying, I rang her and said something's wrong. That's all I whispered. And she just drove to the
Mhm.
hospital to me. And she said, I knew the boys would be fine because I knew you wouldn't allow anything else. She said,
Yeah.
but you were my baby. And I was like, well, who's going to look after her?
Yeah.
And so I think grandparents have a slightly different experience because they're watching their child struggle,
Mm.
raising their child.
Mm. Yeah.
So I want to carve out a space for grandparents to come and share with others that understand. We've got the expert hub, which has got all the experts in that we've mentioned. We've got the wellbeing centre, which has got self-care for send parents, not check yourself in for a spa weekend,
I know everybody sort of goes, oh, self care. I haven't
Yeah,
got time for self care.
absolutely, absolutely. So realistic and practical and quick
Yeah.
ways, and you talk about this a lot with
Mm,
your nervous system, and just settling our nervous systems because we're not meant to be in high alert all of the time. No,
absolutely
nobody's meant to
not.
be in that position, are they? This is I'm learning from the best with you because I've watched your webinars. Um, and then we've got the marketplace. So that will be a bit like, oh, actually, no, in the wellbeing centre, we've also got financial wellbeing to help
Oh,
people with
excellent.
budgeting, benefits, applications, long-term planning, that financial wellbeing. We've
Yeah.
got the marketplace, which is a bit like Etsy, so people can sell their products to other send parents. And we've got the high street, which at the moment we've just got a travel agents and a hotel that offers free respite breaks,
Oh, amazing.
which is fantastic. And
Yeah.
then in phase 2, we're going to have a campus. So nursery, primary, secondary, and college. And we've got tutors waiting to come in. So people will pay £10 a month to come in and they will be connected with those professionals. So you don't, at the moment, you don't get the service for the £10, but you will get everything in the lead up to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the biggest challenges is about finding the right people, isn't
Yeah,
it? Quite often, when you're looking for a tutor or whatever it might be, and you want somebody who is going to understand your child's needs, it's a challenge. I mean, you open
yeah.
Google and you're just like,
Yeah,
so
so
yeah,
two of the things I've been really mindful of is that I would say I'm gonna go out there and say every expert that we've got coming in is a send parent.
yeah,
So
yeah,
they have got professional experience and lived experience. And the professionals that I have vetted and I'm taking into the village are recognised, qualified. I think there's absolutely a place for parents who have got that lived experience. I'm one of those. I do mentoring for other parents. I don't ever call it counselling because it's a different beast.
yeah,
But if you just want to talk to somebody a few steps ahead of your journey, then I've done that. But when it comes to clinical work, when it comes to finances, I am not taking any risks with people's futures. So, yeah, people can know that when they're coming into the village, the experts that they are connecting with are verified, are trusted, have been well vetted. It's not just anybody. I take that. And I think that comes down to my teaching. I take the responsibility and the safeguarding very seriously.
yeah. Yeah, so you've
So
done your
that's,
due diligence, which
I
I
have.
think is going to be a big relief to parents, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
you've taken some of that work off their plate, haven't you?
Yeah, and that's not,
Yeah,
and I'm conscious that it's a lottery, depending on where you are, postcode lottery,
yeah,
and it's a minefield because, like you say, where do you start?
yeah,
So the idea is that people can come in. All the experts work nationally, so there's no limit on who they can support or where they can support them,
yeah,
so that they know they're in safe, trusted hands.
yeah. Amazing. So when does it go live?
So we start beta testing on the 6th of July. And then doors will open beginning of September, which I know sounds like a long time away, but it will be here in no time. So yeah, 6th of September, I think 6th, 7th, we will go completely live. Doors will open to members. We've got a really busy, active wait list at the moment, which is really exciting because even on the wait list, we're giving resources away. We're asking questions. We're having conversations. I'm not about people just sitting on a wait list and then not hearing anything from me until there's a hard sell in September. That doesn't, it feels icky to me. I'm
Yeah,
about building those relationships and building that. I want to be somebody people can trust,
yeah,
and that doesn't
absolutely.
happen overnight. you know,
Yeah,
so I'm very grateful when people join the waitlist and give me access to their lives and have those conversations with us. So yeah, so it's about building the wait list now and getting in touch with people and help and having them help shape the village. You know, like I say, it's
yeah,
not the finished article, it's not by a long shot, and it was never meant to be, because my experience is only autism and dyslexia and epilepsy. Well, SEND is so much more than that.
yeah.
And so it's the idea is that we're co-creating it. The village is growing together. I'm nobody's boss or leader. I'm just a facilitator that's holding the space for everybody to come together and walk this path with each other.
Yeah, so they'll be able to kind of let you know what they're looking for. Yeah,
Absolutely. So there's opportunities for people to come on chats with us and say, "Do you know what, I'd really love this." And we
yeah,
can go away and find an expert or create a resource or get some training, or we can do that for you
yeah,
rather than you sitting there thinking, "I don't know where to start with this."
yeah. And you've deliberately kept it low cost for founding members as well, haven't you? So that's
Yes.
not a barrier. So how
Yeah.
much is it?
It's £10 a month.
Yeah, that's
So
really, yeah,
yeah,
a
it's
lot,
it's less.
a lot for your money.
Yes, it is a
Yeah,
lot for your money, and that's purposeful. You know, we are a business. We do have overheads. Like I say, it's cost us a lot to build the platform because we're taking it seriously. We
yeah,
wanted to come off Meta. We wanted to come off social media and make it something separate to that. So, you know, we've got the money will go towards running that, and yeah, we didn't want it to be a barrier. That's not to say that the price won't have to go up a little bit in the future as
yeah,
we develop and grow. And ultimately, what I would really love is that we have in-house specialists. So people can
yeah,
come to us and they can make a call and be on a phone with a counsellor. They can arrange tuition there and then, you know.
yeah.
But that's a little bit further down the road. I'm terrible for wanting to run before I can walk, and I've really had to rein myself in and just go one thing at a time, Charlie. You know, so that £10 for founding members means that for the life of their membership, whatever's going on in the village, they will only ever pay £10 a month or
That's
250 a week.
amazing.
You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's the goal, is that it's affordable and it's not a barrier for people that need that support.
Yeah, less than the price of coffee, I think, isn't
I,
it? If you
I
go to
think
Costa.
I wouldn't know, but I can tell you it's less than a slice of millionaire shortbread. That's more like less than some cake. Um,
Oh, brilliant. So how do people join the wait list?
So they just go to www.thevillage.co.uk, and I will say it's spelled Vilij.
Yeah, love that.
So
Tell us
if
about that.
yeah, so when I first had the idea of the village, I thought in my head it was two mums. Sorry, Dad's watching this, but it was two mums stood in a queue, and one mum saying to the other, "Oh, I'm having a really tough time at this at the moment," and the other mum saying, "Aren't you in the village? Like, this is Britain." And she's going, "What do you mean the village?" And she's like, "You need to be in the village." And so when I chose a business partner deliberately for her strengths that complement mine, and I said, "It's got to be the village." And we went on Company's House, which is where you have to register your company name. And the village had gone, long gone. And
Yeah,
she was saying, "Well, we could call it our village or my village or the Send village." I'm like, "Nope, nope, it's got to be, it's in my head, it's the village. That's
the
it."
village. Yeah,
So she went away, and her son is also dyslexic. And she came to me and she said, "I've asked Google, how would somebody spell the word village phonetically if they were
yeah,
maybe dyslexic or they struggled with their language?" She says, and it's come up with Vilij. And I went, "I love it. I love the look of
yeah,
it. I love the story behind it. We've got two dyslexic boys." So yeah, it's the Vilij. So you can connect with me on Instagram
yeah,
and follow there. But yeah, it's the village.co.uk is the wait list. And then ultimately that will be our marketing page as well. That will be the home page in
yeah.
time. So if people are watching this after September, they can still come back and have a look at the website. So it's
Oh,
www.thevillage.co.uk.
oh, amazing. And if anybody's got any questions,
Mm.
how do they get in touch with you to
Yeah,
ask
so
those questions?
great question. Thank you. They can connect with me on Instagram and
Yeah,
send me a message over there, or if they prefer email, then I'm Charlie, so IE, at thevillage.co.uk. So you very
perfect.
well can send me an email either.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Charlie. I'm
Thank you.
really excited. I think this is just going to be amazing.
Oh, it will. And a massive thank you to you for your support. You have the biggest heart. You are such a a wonderful professional that
Oh, thank
really
you.
kind of wants the best for your families, you know. And I've seen your testimonials, I've seen the messages that you get and the thank you notes, and you're not in it for that, but it just says a lot about you that you get so many people coming to you and thanking you. And I'm honoured to be your friend, and really grateful for this, so thank you.
Oh, thank you, Charlie.
Mm-mm.
I will speak to you soon then.
Well, thank you very much, and see you in the village, folks.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.